Hi all, it's Ahmed here from Recruitable University and on today's recruitment program. So we are on the module of sales and try to perfecting your sales techniques. So we went through building a rapport and trust with your candidates and your clients. So just to let you know, this module, whatever we are going through, you can apply this to your candidates and you can also apply this to your clients. So all the techniques and the negotiation skills and that we'll be sharing. You can apply this to your candidates. You can also apply it to your clients.
Hey, Ahmed here. I hope you're finding value in this video. If you need any free advice or help with your recruitment agency, or you're thinking of starting your own agency but have some questions, feel free to join our weekly Q&A. You may have seen some clips from it on my page. I'll post a link in my Telegram community, which is completely free to join. I don't even need your email or phone number, and I'll personally be there to answer any of your questions. The link is down below for those of you who are interested. Now let's get back to the video.
So now we're going to go through understanding the product. Who are your products? So you have to understand what your product is. Your product is your client, and your product is also your client. When I say your product, it's what you are trying to sell. So for example, I'll try to simplify as much as I can. So a mobile phone. If you're trying to sell a mobile phone, an iPhone, to a random person on the street, this iPhone is your product. So you got to learn about the iPhone, what are its selling points, and what the iPhone does, what is great about the iPhone, what features it has. So you're able to sell this product now to the wider public. So your candidate is your product, and it's a product to your client. The best way to sell your product is by learning your product, knowing everything about your product, learning your candidate inside out, knowing what they do, what are their competencies, and what are their skill sets, what are they looking for, what have they studied, what are their experiences. So learning everything about your candidate, so then you can deliver and sell it to your clients. So when your clients ask you about your candidate, you know your product inside out, and you can sell it and you can deliver it to your clients. Likewise, your clients are also your product to your candidates. So you got to know about your client. What are they looking for? What is the package that they're offering? And what are the benefits and the perks of the company? How long have they been around? What is the company ethics? So these are all the questions that your candidate may ask you. And if you don't know your product, you're just going to and ah, and you're not going to be able to deliver and have the best sales pitch. So it's very important, before anything else, learn your client, learn your candidate, understand everything about your client and your candidate. And this moves us to understanding the USP, the unique selling points. So what are the unique selling points of your candidates? What I like to list out as the USPs are the few bullet points. So whatever I'm sending an email, I put in a bullet point the few USPs, the things that stand out about my candidate. If my candidate is a doctor, for example, I would say this doctor can see all patients. This doctor can do home visits. This doctor can use all clinical systems. This doctor has 25 years plus experience. This doctor can do all the shared admin of the GP practice. For example, these are just things that will stick out to the client, like this is a fantastic candidate. This is what they're able to do. Likewise, you can apply this also to your client. What are the USPs of this company? They are offering £60,000 per annum. They are offering remote working. They are offering whatever they're offering. They're offering 6 to 8 weeks annual leave, holiday. These are the packages that they're offering. So now you know what the USPs are. These are the first things that you want to mention to your clients and to your candidates. Don't go in about what they can't do. This is a typical mistake people say is, and I've got a candidate who can do everything except for this. Don't emphasize and don't focus on what they can't do, and focus on what they can do. Focus on selling them to your candidates, or focus on selling your client to your candidate and mentioning all the unique selling points that once they hear, they say to themselves, this sounds like a fantastic place to work for. I'll be interested to go for an interview. Or this sounds like a fantastic candidate and will be keen to move forward and schedule an interview. So ask the right question, and that is the only way you're going to understand your product, by asking the right question. Know everything about your candidate. So it depends on the field that you're in, but always make yourself a checklist. This is what I like to do. Make myself a checklist of all the questions that I'm going to be asking, because when you're making the calls and the cold calls that you're making, you literally are speaking to candidates back to back. Whether you speak to the next 20, 30, 40 candidates back to back, you're going to be asking the same things. So have yourself a checklist so that way you don't miss out. For example, if you are um, recruiting dentists, ask them all the right questions. And what clinical system can you use? How far can you travel? And what is the rate that you are looking for? And this is universal, by the way. You can ask this to any of your candidates. How far are you willing to travel for work? What is your salary expectation? What is there anything that you don't do? Is asking all the right questions. So then when you present the candidate to your client may ask you, oh, perfect, this sounds like a fantastic candidate. And how far are they willing to travel? Because we're based in Northamptonshire. So you know already how far they can travel, or your client may say to you, okay, this sounds like a potential match. What is their salary expectation? Or so you know you've asked all the right questions to your candidates, so you can absolutely deliver and sell it to your client. And likewise, ask the right question to your clients, because people can, especially candidates, they ask a lot of questions in terms of the opportunity that you're presenting them, because they're not going to jump board, they're not going to jump ship without asking the right question. Is this opportunity that you're presenting, is it the right opportunity for me? So they're going to ask you about the hospital or the company or whatever place that is hiring. So they will ask you, how much are they paying? They will ask you what are the bonuses and the perks of working at this company. So ask the right questions so you have a deep understanding of both the client and candidate, and you are able to make a match. Sometimes what happens is your candidates will send you their CV, and that CV, of course, you need to screen the CV. You need to look at the CV before you send it out to your clients. Tweak it if you have to. Make sure that they match the right profile. So whether you tweak their CV, their profile, for example, I like to put in the keywords that they are looking for. So if you are right now hiring for a software engineer, and they say to you, we're looking for someone that can do coding, someone that can do web development, someone can do this, ensure that these keywords are in their CV so they can see it, whether you put it at the top, and I can do coding, I can do web development, I can do SEOs, whatever they were looking for. So those keywords are important, because when they are looking at your CV, they will see, okay, this person has those credentials that has the experience that we were looking for. So it's important. Make sure once you know from your client, you have a brief understanding of what they are looking for. You can ask them for a job description. The job description will mention key requirements that they have. Try to use those words in the sell of your candidate. Whether you put it in the body of the email, say, I've got a fantastic candidate available who's happy to interview. He can create websites, he can do SEOs, he can do coding, and they will look at and say, this is exactly what we were looking for. So it's very important. Always use the keywords that your client is looking for, and tweak your CVs of your candidates, of course, after speaking to them and ensuring that they have the skill sets and they are able to do those things, because a lot of the candidates are actually more experienced and they can do a lot more what actually states on the CV. So what you want to do is make sure that you have the best possible product or best possible CV, and so you can put this forward to your clients. Manage your client and your candidate expectation. This is also very, very key. So understand what your client is looking for, and understand what your candidate is looking for, and manage the expectation. Don't over deliver, and don't. So when I say don't over deliver, is, and if your candidate says to you, I'm looking for 100,000 per annum, this is way outside the industry standard, or way outside the client's budget. They'll say to him, yeah, I can definitely find you that rate. The best way I like to manage my candidates is ask them. I never go first. I just ask them, what is this rate that you are looking for? And then once they tell me their rate, I just say, what I'll do is I'll take this back to the client. I can't promise I can get you that rate, but I'll see what they're looking for. And if they can't, I will come back to you with an offer that they can match. So that way, I've not over promised. I've not come back now disappointed my candidate where I've said, yes, I can get you that rate, and I come back and say to you, sorry, I actually can't get you that rate. I can get you 80 instead of the 100. What then they more likely will say, thanks for trying, but I don't want to pursue this anymore. So don't over deliver with your candidates and let them mention the rate first. And we will go through the sales techniques and negotiations very shortly. So if I go over to ChatGPT, and we can go through, we can simulate recruitment agency sales calls. So we're going to write a list of questions a potential company will ask about your candidates and how to overcome those questions. So the first thing a client may ask you before scheduling an interview is, what are their qualification experience? This should be clear and visible on the CV. If it's not, you want to make sure that their CV, before you send it out, it's clear what their skills are, what are their qualifications, so this is very important. Also, another thing that needs to stick out on their CV and your client may ask you is, what are their previous job roles? What were their responsibilities? So every job that they've worked for before, if to they have to ensure that, if you've got, it mentions where they worked for in the past and the types of responsibilities that they carried out at that company. It's very important that it's all clear and visible to your client. That way you want to minimize these sort of questions or these potential objections that you will get from your clients. Another sort of typical question is, how long has this candidate been in the industry? What are their experience in the industry? How long has he been a dentist, or how long has he been a software engineer? How long has this person been a doctor? So make sure it's written either on the CV, or it could be one of your USPs, to your unique selling points. He's been a doctor for 25 years. He's got all the experience and know-how in the industry. And other questions that they may ask you is, how do you know this person will be a cultural fit between the candidate and the company? And that way, the best way I answer normally is by suggesting a trial shift. So I say to them, I believe he'll be a great fit for you, but the best thing I genuinely believe to move forward, so you don't commit right away, is interview the candidate, see if it seemed like a good fit for you, and if you're happy after the interview, we can potentially schedule and organize a trial shift. So this way, you charge them just for that one day, for having your candidate, and the candidate will work a shift or two at the hospital or at the company that you're hiring for, and to see if this candidate is a good fit, and vice versa, if the client finds the candidate to be good. So this way, I always say to them, so you're not committing, you get to try before you buy, you get to see how he works or she works, and if you think they're a fit, then this will be an ideal situation for you. So these are some sort of objections that you may get from your clients when it comes to putting forward candidates. So I hope you've enjoyed this and you've benefited from this lesson, and I will see you on the next one.